I've been a mom for a few months and I really want to talk to the woman like me, who is feeding a baby at 2 a.m. and also somehow in the same breath is thinking about her future, who is exhausted in a way that she didn't know was possible before the season of her life, whose body is still healing, whose identity is still catching up to the enormous thing that has just happened to her, and who somewhere in the middle of all of this fog, all of this beautiful, overwhelming identity reshaping chapter, has a voice in her head that will just not go quiet. A voice that says that I still have something to build. I still have something to say. I am more than this, not instead of this, but in addition to it. And I don't want to wait until my children are in school, until I figure things out, until life settles down to start becoming who I know I am capable of being. Now, this video is for her, for you, because this is what I believe. And I want to say it clearly before we go any further. Motherhood did not end your story. It did not end my story. It did not pursue your ambition in any way or disqualify your expertise or put your purpose on hold. In many ways, in the ways that matter the most, it deepened all of those things. And the world needs what you carry now, not the pre-baby version of you, not the polished, rested, and everything in other version you are waiting to become. I mean the you now, with the baby on your hip and the laundry on the floor, and the idea that keeps surfacing even when you are too tired to write it down. That idea is the beginning of your personal brand. Now, let me show you how to build it. And I'll start by describing a pattern. A woman has expertise, for instance, real expertise built over years of work, study, lived experience. She has a perspective that she's genuinely valuable. Maybe she has already been thinking about building something for herself, like maybe a brand, a business, a platform, a body of work that is hers. And then she has a baby. And that idea doesn't die, but it gets buried underneath the feeds, the nap schedules, and the recovery and the identity shift that nobody fully prepares you for. Now, underneath the guilt, that's complicated, heavy guilt that whispers, shouldn't all your attention be here? Isn't wanting more somehow a betrayal of this? And someday becomes the most expensive word in our vocabulary. Someday when the baby sleeps through the night, someday when I have the time, someday when I feel like myself again, someday when I am ready. I need to tell you something about someday. Someday is not a plan. I'm telling you, someday is not a plan. Someday is feeling dressed up as a strategy. And for most women, someday just never arrives. And not because the circumstances never improve, but because there's always a new reason to wait. A new stage of motherhood that demands more. A new season that feels like the wrong season. The window you're waiting for is not coming. I'm sorry to break it to you, it is not coming. What is coming, what is always coming for every person who builds something meaningful is the messy imperfection, the never quite right now. And the question is not whether now is convenient. The question is whether now is enough to start. I'm telling you, it is. You just have to stop waiting for permission to believe that it is starting now. I mean, now is the time. Now, first off, I want to name 3 lies that are keeping you stuck. And it's not about the fact that anyone told them to you maliciously, but because they live in the culture, in the conversations, in the well-meaning advice of people who love you and don't fully understand what you're reaching for. Like 1, you need to have it all together before you start. You don't. You never will. No one who has ever built a personal brand, not one, started from a place of total clarity and, perfect readiness. They started from exactly where you are, with something to say, someone to say it to, and the courage to begin before they were certain. The brand does not emerge fully formed before you start. The brand is what emerges through starting. You discover your message by speaking. You find your audience by showing up. You develop your voice by using it imperfectly, repeatedly, publicly. The mess is not the obstacle to building. The mess is the raw material that you are going to use to build. Like 2, this season of your life is the wrong season for building. This one is the most seductive of all the lies because it contains a grain of truth, to be honest. This season is demanding. Your capacity is limited. Your time is genuinely constrained. But this is what I don't tell you. Constraint is one of the most powerful creative forces available to any builder. When you have unlimited time, you waste it. But when you have 2 hours a week, you get ruthlessly clear about what matters. You stop overthinking and start doing. Some of the most compelling personal brands ever built were built in fragments, in stolen hours, in school-run parking lots. Not because constraint is exactly romantic, but because constraint forces priority. And priority is what most would-be builders lack. The woman who figures out how to build in the margins of a full life is not building despite a constraint. She's building because of them. And that audience, especially the women in the same season, they would feel that. They will feel the authenticity of someone doing this in real life and not in ideal conditions. Like 3, your audience isn't ready for your season to be a part of your brand. This one costs women the most. They are afraid that showing up as a mom, as a mother, with the realness of that, with the chaos and the beauty and the contradiction of it, we undermine their professional credibility. That people would not take them seriously. That the brand they are trying to build will be dismissed as a mommy blog. Do you get? Now, let me say this very clearly to you. Your motherhood is not a liability in any way. It is a differentiator. It is a differentiator and it matters. In a world of polished, performed, perfect-looking personal brands, the woman who shows up with humanity, with depth, with specific authority that comes from navigating something hard while still building something meaningful is not less credible in any way. She's more compelling. The integration is the brand. The woman you are becoming in this season, the clarity, the priority, the add-on wisdom about what actually matters, that is not separate from your professional expertise. It is the lens that makes your expertise more human, more trustworthy, and more real. Don't hide that season. Use it. Now, how do you build a personal brand inside a full life? Here's actually how to do this. Not the version for someone with 6 free hours a day. This version is for you, for now, for this season, for the life you actually have. Step 1, decide who you are becoming, not just what you do. Most people start a personal brand by asking, what should I post about? Now, that is the wrong question. It's the wrong first question. Your right first question is, who am I becoming and what do I want to be known for in 5 years? Because a personal brand is not a content strategy. It is an identity declaration. It is you consciously deciding which version of yourself you are committing to building and making that declaration visible, consistently over time. You have expertise from before the season. You have the lived intelligence of this season. You have a perspective on the intersection of both. That intersection, your professional knowledge filtered through the depth of who you are now, is your brand. Write that in one sentence. I have a specific person do specific things so that they can have specific outcome. Don't worry about making it perfect. Make it honest. That sentence is your North Star. It will guide you, and everything you build points back to it. Step 2, start with one platform, just one. Not a podcast and an Instagram and a newsletter and a YouTube channel. One, the platform that feels most natural to how you think and how you communicate. If you think in writing, for instance, a newsletter on LinkedIn would work for you. If you think in conversation, then a podcast. If you think visually like me, you love editing, Instagram or YouTube would work for you. If you process out loud, then short form video, like those yapping kind of video would work for you. One platform, chosen intentionally, built consistently. Even if consistently means twice a week, even if it means once a week, depth on one platform we always outperform width across 5. The new mom who publishes one thoughtful newsletter every week for a year will build more real trust and authority than the one who half posts on 4 platforms and burns out in 60 days. So don't do that to yourself. Choose one, commit to it, and everything else comes later. Step 3, build a content bank before you go live. Now, this is the most practical gift I can give you in this video. It's literally what I do too. Before you launch anything publicly, spend 2 to 3 weeks building a content bank. A private document, a voice memo folder, a notes app, wherever you think, where you capture every idea, every observation, every opinion, every story that just surfaces in your daily life. You will not be short of content that way. New mothers are remarkable content because you are living through one of the most transformative human experiences there is. The specific things you noticed, the things you feel that you haven't seen articulated, the insight from your professional expertise that motherhood has sharpened or complicated or completely upended. Write them down, record them if you have to, capture them in whatever form they come. By the time you go live, you will have 30, 40, 50 content waiting. And the anxiety of, I don't know what to post, which derails more new personal brands than any single thing, will not be your anxiety because you have already done the thinking. You just have to do the sharing. I presently have over 50 ideas I am going to be sharing here on my channel. Even though it's a new channel, I already have it down. I had to take out weeks of work to do that, and it's helping my work process a whole lot because I have taken the time to think and to write my scripts. Batch your content in windows, not daily streaks. Do not try to create content every day. In this season, this is a promise you cannot keep, and broken promises to yourself are expensive. They erode your confidence. They create guilt. They make the brand feel like a burden instead of a building. But that's basically what I do too. I'll be shooting about 3 to 4 videos, maybe 5. I've written the script. I'm shooting it tonight, just this moment I'm shooting this particular video. So find a window in your week or your month where you have the most uninterrupted capacity. 2 hours on a Saturday morning, while someone else has the baby. A nap time that gives you like 90 minutes, or an evening after bedtime routine where your mind is still capable. In that window, make 3 to 5 pieces of content. Write the caption, record the audio, draft the essays, then schedule them, then close the laptop and go back to your life, go back to your child. You are not a daily content machine at this season of your life. You are a thinking person who shares consistently. That reframe matters because it keeps the brand sustainable across a season that will change a dozen times before it stabilizes. Step 5, make your season part of your authority, not separate from it. This is the invitation I most want you to accept. Stop compartmentalizing. Stop trying to keep the personal brand version of you separate from the mother version. It doesn't always work, I'm telling you. Stop writing your captions and then second guessing them because they mention the baby or the exhaustion or the specific kind of clarity that comes from having your whole identity rearranged. The most powerful brand that we see right now, the most powerful brands are not the most polished ones. They are the most integrated ones. The woman who writes about financial strategy and shows how she's teaching her daughter to understand money, she's more interesting than a financial strategist who keeps her whole life out of frame. The creative director, for instance, who shares the branding principles she's applying and the identity questions she's navigating as a new mom, is more compelling to everyone, to me, to everyone, than the one who posts only professional highlights. I'm telling you, she's more compelling. So integration is not oversharing in any way. It is wholeness. And wholeness, the rare radical art of being a complete person in public, is what builds the kind of audience that doesn't just follow you. They trust you, they buy from you, they tell other people about you. They simply just stay. They stay with you because we're in a world full of curated, fragmented, half-present personal brands. And a whole person is an extraordinary thing. Now I'm going to end this video by giving you something. Not a framework, not a tactic, not one thing to add to the list. I want to give you permission. Permission to start before you are ready. Permission to show up before you figured it all out. Permission to build something yours in the middle of building something theirs. Permission to want more, not instead of the beautiful thing you're already doing, but alongside it. Because this is what I know about the women who build personal brands in the margin of new motherhood. Women like myself. They don't just build despite the season, they build because of it. Because becoming a mother gives them a clarity about what matters, a tolerance for imperfection, a depth of humanity, and an understanding of what real stakes feel like and what makes everything they create carry more weight. The brand you build in this season of your life will not be the same as the brand that you would have built before, of course. It will be better, I promise you, more honest, more specific, more grounded in what is real. And somewhere out there on a phone screen at 2 a.m., feeding a baby, wondering if anyone else feels exactly what they feel, is a woman who needs to find you. She needs your expertise. She needs your honesty. She needs proof that it is possible to be in this season and still building, still becoming. You are that proof. You always were. Now, please go build something. I am rooting for you. If you're able to get a thing or two that help you, please let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to read a comment from you. I would be sure to respond to every comment. Please like this video, share. It will really help the video get to more moms. Like, there are a lot of moms who will need to see this. I really want it to get to them. So please help the video, right? Thank you. And I'll be reading your comments and responding. As always, I will see you in my next one. Bye.